Here's my analysis of the number 9 Baylor men's basketball game against number 5 Kansas. Baylor had a 45-32 lead at halftime. Second half, 180 to be exact. 55 points allowed, 26 in the points scored. The defense was not there. The offense was not there. First of all, Kansas shot 50.9% from the field, 29 for 57 overall. It's the second half that really turned it around. 6 for 21 on threes, 28.6%. That's good defense on the threes. 23 for 27 on free throws, 85.2%. 35 rebounds, 8 of those offensive. 17 assists, 6 steals, 3 blocks, 4 turnovers, 14 fouls, and 10 points off the bench. Baylor had only 7. They didn't shoot the ball bad. It's just that second half it was just more of a struggle. 44.1%. 26 for 59 overall. 10 for 25 on threes. 9 for 16 on free throws though. 56.3%. You gotta make free throws count. 32 rebounds. 10 of those offensive. 8 assists. Not a good number. 1 steal. That's bad. 11 turnovers is not a lot, but you gotta keep in mind, we had more in the second half than in the first half. 20 fouls. Individual numbers. Adam Flagler had 22 points on 9 for 17 shooting, 1 for 4 on threes, 3 for 4 on free throws, 3 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 turnovers, 2 fouls. LJ Cryer was quiet in the second half after his great first half. 15 points on 5 for 14 shooting, 3 for 7 on threes, 2 for 2 on free throws, 2 rebounds, 1 turnover. Keontae George had 20 points on 7 for 15 shooting, 5 for 10 on threes, 1 for 1 on free throws, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 6 turnovers, though. That has to be cut down. 2 fouls. Flo Thamba only had 1 point, which was like 1 for 4 on free throws. 2 rebounds, not good at all. And 4 fouls. Joan Bridges was quiet in this game. 6 points on 2 for 6 shooting, but 1 for 2 on threes, 1 for 2 on free throws. 4 rebounds and 3 fouls. Joshua Juwuna played a little bit. He only recorded 3 rebounds. Caleb Lohner played. He had 0 for 1 shooting, no points, 1 rebound, 2 fouls. Jonathan Chomwa-Chachua had 5 points on 2 for 3 shooting, 1 for 1 on free throws, 6 rebounds, 1 steal, 3 fouls, which came in the first half, mind you. Langston Love had 2 points on 1 for 3 shooting, 0 for 2 on threes, 0 for 2 on free throws, 1 rebound, 1 turnover, 4 fouls. I would just say, let's just put this game behind us and don't let this game beat us twice. Plain and simple. And I know Scott Drew's not happy about this. I promise you that. Especially the second half we let them. Once they took a lead, they never gave it up. Now, going forward for Kansas is the next few games. At TCU. And TCU beat them pretty handily. And Lawrence. And they have Mike Miles back. So, that's a tough game coming up. You got West Virginia at home, and West Virginia lost to Texas Tech. You shouldn't lose to them. Then you got Texas Tech at home. You shouldn't lose that game either. I would say you should win those 2 games. It's the TCU game that I think is a loss. Then at Texas, and that's possibly another loss. Possibly. But we'll have to wait and see. Now, Baylor, on the other hand, has the following games. At Kansas State. I knew going in this game here, you got to find a way to split between Kansas State and Kansas. You need to find a way to beat Kansas State on the road. Especially when you need to get yourself to the point of tie for first in the Big 12 again, because this loss hurts. Then you play Texas at home. The next 2 games are important. You got to beat Texas to not let them sweep you. You can't lose to Kansas State. I know Kansas State's only lost 1 time at home this year, and I'm going to do a preview on the next 2 games here because they're going to be ranked opponents. I can promise you that. On the road to Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State got destroyed by TCU today, but that was with Mike Miles back. That's still going to be a dangerous game. And granted, same thing goes for Kansas. There's no nights off. Texas nearly lost to Oklahoma today in overtime. Then you get Iowa State at home. I'm going to definitely do a preview of that game. Now the Big 12 standings right now goes as follows: Kansas 10-4, Texas 10-4, Baylor 9-5, Kansas State 8-6, Iowa State 8-6, which is huge that Iowa State lost today to Kansas State on the road. That's huge for that reason. And you don't want to play Kansas State coming off of a loss either. TCU 7-7, Oklahoma State 7-7, West Texas Tech 4-10, West Virginia 4-10, and Oklahoma 3-11. I'm going to say this, you got to come out better in the second half and next game, and you could keep the first half you had, but in second half you got to be better. And I know they're going to address this, and they're going to stay in Kansas for a bit, because it doesn't make sense for them to come back home, then go back to Kansas State. I mean, stay where you're at. And I know they're going to learn from this. I know they will. And as you know, the next two games are important next week. First of all, you don't want to lose to Kansas State twice. And if you win that game right there, you're back in the mix, because I do think Kansas will lose to TCU. I think they will lose. And I think Texas, we could very well beat them at home. Then we'll create more chaos. And remember, Texas still has to play Iowa State. And I know Iowa State's not the best on the road, but still. But Texas has TCU and Kansas at the very end. I mean, I do think Kansas will lose to TCU. I do think so. And maybe to Texas. So it's really one game. And I think Kansas loses to TCU next game. I really, really do. Especially it's on the road. I mean, and it's on a quick turnaround at that. So there's still chances, Baylor, to at least claim the title. First, you need to beat Kansas State. If Kansas would lose to TCU, that would be huge for us, because let's face it, Kansas shouldn't lose the next two games in theory. But Texas Tech went on the road today and beat West Virginia, so you never know. And West Virginia did make it interesting against us last time. Remember that for a bit. So, and like I said before, when you look at Texas's remaining schedule, it's tough, man. I mean, you got Iowa State at home. You got Baylor on the road. You got TCU on the road and Kansas at home. They're going to lose. I think Kansas very well lose to Texas, but then I think Texas loses to somebody else. Not just us, but somebody else. There's still time. We'll have to wait and see what happens, though. Anyways, if you like this content, hit like and subscribe. I'll see you guys later. 500 subscribers. We're on the road to it. Let's go.